Today, I am going to help students answer question 2 in the Tinker versus Des Moines Supreme Court case. Question 2 is another example of a long question that does not need quotations to back up your claim. In other words, you're going to make a claim, but you don't have to use the article to back up your answer. Now, the first important thing to look at when looking at this question is, why don't I need to use a quotation? And as I read, I'll point out the clue to why this question does not require a quotation to support your answer. So the first thing that I want people to notice is that there is only one question mark, which is at the very end. Sometimes longer questions can have more than one question hidden in the question. But this question only has really one thing that it's asking. But it is really long. So let's read it and then figure out why it's important to really look at this question and what does it tell us and what does it tell us that we need to know to answer the question. The first sentence says this: one important fact in the Tinker case that this article did not mention was that wearing black armbands to protest the Vietnam War was the only political speech the school district did not allow. Now, the important part to look at here is right here, that this article did not mention. That means that this question is asking you to figure something out based on what is in the article, but there's no quotes that are in the article telling us exactly how to answer this. So what this first question is showing us is you're not getting the information from the article to answer it, and you're going to have to figure out what the answer is going to be based on the information in the question. In other words, the answer to the question is you thinking about the question itself. The second sentence asks us this: the school district allowed students to wear political campaign buttons and other recognizable political symbols. How might this fact have influenced the Supreme Court to decide in favor of the Tinkers and against the school district? The first thing I want to do is I want to figure out, what are these political campaign buttons that they're talking about? And an easy way to do that is to copy it, go up to your Google search engine, and do a search. And I'm going to look for images. Oh, wow. And I'm going to want to see, what are they talking about here? What is a political campaign button? Now, I know a lot of you are Donald Trump fans, so here's an example of what Donald Trump political campaign pins look like. And basically what was happening in this court case, what they're telling us, is that the school district allowed some political speech, like these political pins that were for when people were running for president, but they weren't allowing protest speech. So they were allowing one form of speech that the school said was okay, but they were taking another form of symbolic speech and saying that it wasn't okay. And remember, symbolic speech is a picture or an image that represents an idea. Okay? So basically, the school was showing a lot of bias, meaning it was showing favoritism. It was saying, oh, if you think this way about politics, we'll allow you to use your free speech. But if you think something that might be against what the school believes or the majority of the teachers believe, then we can't allow that free speech in the building. And the question is, how might have the school's bias or the school's favoritism to one form of speech, how would have that made the judges in the Supreme Court feel? How would have that influenced them to decide either in favor of the students or in favor of the school? So, I'm just going to read this part again. How might this fact have influenced the Supreme Court to decide in favor of the Tinkers and against the school district? So, I went into last year's written work and I found a student answer that I thought was a good answer. This is a 3 or a 3+, and I will read it to you. Here is the topic sentence, which I have to say is a little bit long, but with a long question like this, sometimes it's really hard to have a short topic sentence. Here's this student's topic sentence. The school district's decision to allow some political speech, but not the armbands, would have influenced the Supreme Court in favor of the Tinkers. By allowing some students to wear campaign buttons, but expelling the Tinkers and the Eckharts for wearing armbands, showed that the school was being biased. And another word for that is that the school was favoring one side. The school district was allowing only speech that favored the government, not speech that went against it. And this is a big deal, because if you're going to allow free speech in school, you have to allow all free speech other than free speech that disrupts the functioning of the school or speech that violates the freedoms and rights of other students. That's in the article as well. So to answer question 2, you want it to look something like this. So I hope this is helpful for you guys. Probably tomorrow I'll put out another video for question 3. I do want you guys to do these questions one at a time. I also want you to make sure that you listen to the video or watch the video that I put out where I'm reading the Tinker versus Des Moines court case and I'm reviewing the questions with you. So if you could first watch the video that deals with the questions in the article of me reading it, then trying question 1 and watching that video, and then you can try question 2 and then watch this video. All right, I hope this is helpful, and I hope you guys are okay and feeling good. And I will talk to you again in the next video. Take care.